Hello my viewers, today I'll be sharing with you guys why Nigeria cannot pay 500,000 naira as minimum wage. I will give you real facts on this issue. I remain your host, Fast Naija, where I give my opinion about real political issues and other trending insight of what is happening in Nigeria today. Please, my viewers, don't forget to click the subscribe and follow button and also give me a thumb up. Now, let us dive in. There have been many arguments about the minimum wage in Nigeria. Some persons say it is too small because of the current inflation realities, while some are proposing a minimum wage of over 500,000 naira based on the inflation of commodities we are currently facing now. Some argue that Nigeria have a very low minimum wage in Africa, meaning Nigeria is among the countries with one of the lowest minimum wage, and for that Nigeria as a nation, or as big as Nigeria as a nation, Nigeria needs to improve in our minimum wage, because they argue that Nigeria have a lot of mineral resources, and also countries that have mineral resources like Nigeria have higher minimum wages. So why will Nigeria own be different? So they are now proposing a minimum wage of over 500,000 naira, so that it can meet with the present realities we are facing now. All these arguments are very correct, and it is true that Nigeria have one of the lowest minimum wage in Africa, and so a proposal of over 500,000 naira as the new minimum wage is a step in the right direction in the future. But on reality, on our present economic situation, it is not visible, or it is not possible, and this is unrealistic. And Nigeria as a nation cannot, or don't even have that kind of money to pay as minimum wage or to pay as salary. Do you know that some states have still not been able to meet up with the 70,000 minimum wage that was proposed? Some states are still failing in the implementation of this 70,000 minimum wage. This is no joke. It is true. Some states have not been able to implement the 70,000 minimum wage. Nigeria total annual revenue as of current is less than 30 trillion naira, and subsidy have been removed. So including the subsidy money that was removed, Nigeria still falls short of less than 30 trillion naira, even with all the reforms that Tinubu have done to help increase our revenue collection. But still, Nigeria still falls short of less than 30 trillion naira. So if Nigeria is to pay the 500,000 minimum wage that they are proposing, you are not telling Nigeria now, or federal government will have to cough out a whopping sum of 36 trillion naira as wages. Only wages alone. and our total revenue is 30 trillion naira. So tell me, how is it possible? You tell me, how can Nigeria afford to pay such a huge wage? Even if Nigeria stop paying the president, members of the senate, and also all members of the house of representatives, still Nigeria cannot afford to pay the 500,000 naira as minimum wage. Salary and wages of a country are not tied by emotion. Only one thing drives wages, which is productivity. If you increase your wage without first increasing productivity, Nigeria will go bankrupt, and it will result to hyperinflation. Remember, we had an hyperinflation in 1974 when General Gowon implemented the Udoji Award. Up till now, Nigeria have not fully recovered from that crisis. Another thing we need to know as a Nigerian citizens don't pay taxes as other countries do. The way other countries pay taxes, Nigerian citizens don't pay. Someone was saying that Nigeria needs to copy the model of South Africa. Yes, copying the model of South Africa is not a bad idea, but do you know that South Africans pay over 45% of tax? Yes, South Africans pay up to 45% tax in their country. But over here in Nigeria, when you talk of tax, the citizens will start frowning. If government now say that they are going to increase or pay the 500,000 minimum wage, but in return they will now be cutting 45% as tax, you will see Nigerians will take to the streets. Everyone will start protesting against it, that the government wants to suffocate them because they don't want to pay tax. So in reality, this proposal of 500,000 naira monthly is not visible. It is just a waste of time. And if any opposition like Sowore that was proposing that he is going to pay Nigerians 500,000 naira as minimum wage, I will tell you categorically, he just wants to get votes. He does not know anything. He does not understand the current economic situation of Nigeria. This is to tell you that someone that does not understand the current situation of Nigeria, the economic situation of Nigeria, then tell me, how can that person become a good president? Or how can that person be vying for the position of presidency? That means he knows nothing about the office. I would say again, Nigeria as a nation cannot afford to pay 500,000 naira as minimum wage. We don't have that kind of revenue. Nigeria don't have that kind of money. So any group proposing a minimum wage of 500,000, that person is just wasting his time. And that person does not understand the situation of Nigeria. The only proposal I believe that Nigeria government will thrive or can thrive to pay is a proposal of 100,000 naira as minimum wage. I have said my own. And if you like my content, don't forget to click the follow and subscribe button. And don't forget to like also. If you have anything or any other opinion to say, Let me know in the comment section. Thank you.